Hi, I'm Charles Roselli, an IRS and New York tax attorney who has practiced for 20 plus years. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the exact process that has helped individuals and businesses throughout New York State from losing everything to the IRS and New York State Department of Taxation and Finance. By conquering your overwhelming IRS or New York State tax problems once and for all, you'll finally get your finances back on track. But more importantly, your personal life back on track. Because if you're honest with yourself, your back tax liability affects your relationships with your family and your ability to move forward with the life that you were and are supposed to have. And even if it's been a problem for years, or six figures or more are owed, or your income taxes haven't been filed in 10 plus years, or there's an IRS revenue officer or New York tax agent already showing up at your door, I want to let you know that your tax problem can be solved and has a solution. But there is an if, and that if is that your tax problem must be handled strategically and methodically, step by step. And I'm going to review that 3-step process with you. But first, before we get into the process, your time is valuable, so I need to make sure I'm talking to the right person. This video is only for you if you have a serious IRS or New York State tax problem. So for example, if you have years of unfiled tax returns, or you owe a large balance due to the IRS or the state, or perhaps there's a revenue officer or agent assigned to your matter, well, those all qualify for serious tax problems. Also, if you're not 100% dead serious about solving your tax problem, or if you're wondering if there's a shortcut out of your situation, like all those false ads all over the internet and the radio claiming to solve your tax problems for pennies on the dollar, well, there's not. And you should also exit this video right now if you're okay living your life on the run from the IRS and the New York State Tax Department, and you're hoping and praying that they will forget about you. They won't, and you should also exit this video right now. And if you're looking to avoid your responsibilities to yourself and to your family, and you want to continue to live in denial so you could avoid the short-term cost and discomfort of hitting this head on, well, there's nothing that this presentation will be able to do for you. So you should also exit this video. However, if you're 100% dead serious about playing adult hide and seek with the IRS or New York State Tax Department, and you're ready to solve your tax problem, I promise you that this short video will provide you with some insight and clarity that may have eluded you for many years. You see, the common theme that I see in 20 plus years of handling tax problems like yours is that when you get behind in your taxes, the snowball effect begins. That is, are you going to pay the IRS, the state, or your living expenses? And before you know it, a few things may begin to happen. Perhaps you stop filing your income tax returns because you're afraid of the balances due. 1 year of not filing becomes 3, 3 becomes 6, and before you know it, you haven't filed in 10 plus years. In fact, the record in my office is 23 years. Or maybe you do file your income tax returns, but you ignore the notices that you're getting, and maybe you even stop opening your mail because you're afraid of the balances due. Or you start getting hit with liens against your assets, your bank accounts are getting hammered with levies, and now there's a revenue officer or tax agent knocking on your door, or even worse, your neighbor's door. Now, if this hasn't happened to you yet, it's never a question of if, it's a question of when. It also means being emotionally beaten down, trying to figure all this stuff out. The worst part about it is not really owing the IRS or the state. The worst part is being embarrassed and ashamed. It's that feeling of wondering, how did I get here? It's the perpetual feeling of being stuck in life, not being able to get to a better place overall, not being able to put money in your bank account, living life with anxiety and overwhelm. But I'm going to show you that process to fix it. Before I get into any of this, I want to address one thing real quick. Who is this guy presenting? why should I listen to him? Like I said, my name is Charles Roselli. I'm an IRS and New York tax attorney, and for over 20 plus years, and as the owner of the Tax Problem Law Center, I have worked with individuals and business owners throughout New York State to help resolve their back tax problems. Truly anything you could imagine as a bad tax problem, I have seen. Here are just a few examples of the clients I have personally worked with. A New York State real estate agent client of ours, which had over $150,000 in IRS and New York State back taxes and had 6 years of unfiled income tax returns. A New York tax agent showed up at his door threatening a tax warrant. We got them sorted out. And a consultant on Long Island that owed over $300,000 in penalties. You could only imagine how much stress and pressure he was under. We saved him a sizable amount of money. And we worked with a tire company with a large 6-figure sales tax liability due to a sales tax audit. We helped them get the sales tax problem resolved so that they could keep their doors open, and we helped them save money as well. And we represented a bunch of W-2 wage earners as well, who haven't filed their income tax returns and just don't know where to start. And really, over the last 20 plus years of practice as a tax attorney, individuals and businesses of all shapes and sizes with all sorts of different tax situations. So I want to give you some good news. Your tax problem has a solution. Solving a significant tax problem such as yours can be overwhelming. I know this because I've gone on over 2,000 calls with other taxpayers who have told me so. And being overwhelmed causes you to freeze and sweep the tax problem under the rug. However, it's overwhelming to you because solving tax problems is not something you do day in and day out. And every year that goes by without filing your taxes or solving your tax problem just puts you in a deeper state of overwhelm, which causes you to freeze. You see, running your business or doing your day job is something you are likely good at because it's what you do daily. And over the last 20 years of solving tax problems like yours, I can tell you that every tax problem has a solution. You may think that your tax problem is not solvable or it's solvable for other people, but not for you. And that is 100% not true. Perhaps you attempted to handle the matter yourself, or maybe you hired one of those firms that promised to settle your tax liabilities for pennies and you were disappointed, or perhaps they didn't do anything at all for you. The reason why I know this is because this is what I hear day in and day out from people just like you. However, the one thing I can guarantee you is that every tax problem has a solution if it is handled properly. Number 2, get your financial house back in order. If you have years of unfiled income tax returns, you may be missing records. You don't know where to start. You don't know how many years you need to file. Do you know that the federal and the laws for New York State are different and there's different filing requirements? And also, you may be filing your income tax returns, but year after year and don't know why. You may be making good money, but you're not left with much. So how do you reconcile all these different issues? I will tell you what your problem is. Your financial house is in complete disorder. In all of my years of solving tax problems, I have never met someone with a tax problem that had good bookkeeping, good cash flow management, and certainly without knowledge and implementation of the tax laws and their obligations, it's very difficult to be proactive. So the number one thing we need to do right now is get your financial house in order by getting you back on track with your past due income tax return filings so that you can manage your monthly cash flow. And by doing so, you can stop accumulating new IRS and New York State tax liabilities every year. You need to be deliberate about how you get back on track, and we can guide you on that path if you need help with your years of unfiled taxes. And I get it, this stuff falls in the not fun pile, but unfortunately, there are a lot of things that we need to do to have the life that you deserve. And number 3, You have to stop playing roulette and follow a proven process. Right now, you're just spinning the wheel hoping that you're going to land on the right solution. Most taxpayers that try to solve this problem with the IRS or New York State Tax Department fail miserably and actually make things way worse for themselves. For example, maybe you've spent 4 hours on hold with the IRS only to be told you have 30 days to pay them $100,000, or they're going to start taking your stuff. Maybe you tried surfing irs.gov or reading the Internal Revenue Code or the Internal Revenue Manual, or read a few articles, or tried one of those so-called tax relief companies. Maybe you tried to write them a letter and no one responded. Or maybe you're staring at 500 pages of bank statements, wondering, how am I going to get through all this stuff? After all that, not only have you made zero progress, but you're actually even more frustrated and further behind than when you started. The reason you're stuck here is because you're playing roulette with the IRS or the New York State Tax Department, just spinning the wheel with whatever idea pops into your mind today. Do this random thing, do that random thing. Oops, that didn't work. Let me try something else. And that cycle just repeats until you're burned to the ground and months and years of your life have gone by. The secret, even if you want to call it that, to actually getting your IRS or New York State tax problem fixed isn't even a secret at all. The secret is to implement a proven process that applies the applicable federal and New York State tax laws to the specifics of your situation, that is time-tested and guaranteed to get you results. Out of all the noise out there, this is the only thing you need to be focusing your energy on right now. And here are the 3 steps of the process. Number 1, how do I get my tax filings caught up and convert a pile of bank statements or whatever into a completed tax return in a way that maximizes my write-offs and therefore minimizes my back taxes? And how do I get all of my missing records? Number 2, how do I negotiate a workable, finalized arrangement with the IRS and New York State that they will accept? Not just some pie-in-the-sky Hail Mary settlement that I throw at them, but something they're going to accept based upon the tax laws and that will work for me and I can afford, so they will leave me alone, not take my stuff, and I can deal with this problem on my own terms. And number 3, how do I change my ways to never have a tax problem with these guys ever again? Because if you could answer those 3 questions, if you have a plan in place and you follow the 3 proven steps underlying each of these parts of the process, you are absolutely guaranteed to get this problem totally and completely wrapped up for good, no questions asked. So I hope that this presentation has opened your eyes by showing you that there is absolutely no reason to keep living the way you are and that your problem is 100% fixable with the right approach. And I hope the evidence of the other people that I have shared with far worse problems than you have proven that. And the only thing holding you back is you. So the question becomes, what is next? Option number 1 is to say, that was a nice presentation, and go back to where you were before, letting doubt, negative self-talk, and rationalizations keep you stuck where you are, and allowing yourself to believe for some reason, despite everything we just talked about, fixing this problem can't or won't work for you, and allowing more months and years to go by without addressing the problem, only to revisit it later when the IRS or ruthless New York State Tax Department is literally showing up at your door. Or option number 2 is to make a decision to take charge and implement change in your life and conquer the demon that is your IRS or New York State tax problem once and for all. And if you fall into that second group, I have an offer for you. I'm opening up some spots on my calendar for a phone tax strategy session with me personally. That is a 20-minute time slot where you and I will talk and I can bring some clarity to your situation. And we can start implementing the specifics of getting your problems sorted out once and for all. This is an opportunity for those who are dead serious about getting their tax problem fixed and want to do everything it takes, but they need help implementing a plan so they can get this problem out of their life as fast and as efficiently as possible. So I want to thank you quickly for watching this presentation, and I truly hope it has helped you. And if you're interested in speaking with me and you want to get this problem fixed once and for all, the next thing you're going to do is click the link and request your free 20-minute time slot. Thanks again, and I hope to see you on the other side.